Hello, my name is Amish. Today we're going to be looking at a plus 20 Darkheart Thicket or Disc Priest. Um, so after my last video, the Waycrest Manor, I was pretty much in shambles over the state of my damage and specifically how I was I guess getting the most out of torments, or rather not getting the most out of torments. And so I approached this next key, this next 20, later on after uploading the video, basically with the sole goal in mind of fixing that, basically. And so I ran this key before the reset, and so we were working with Tyran, Storming, Bolstering. And I switched up some of my talents. So I think the last video, I talked a little bit about how with Ultimate Penitence, I really wasn't getting the most out of it. I think there was some room for improvement, I think, in terms of the way I was thinking about how to use it. So in the video, I mentioned it sort of being like a last resort, like top the group when things are low type of button. Someone left a really great comment, and thank you for that, with some thoughts around using it more offensively and ways to sort of maximize the defensive use, to, yeah, make it so that even if, you know, you are in the air and a swirly gets under you and whatever, you have enough of a shield so it doesn't, like, really matter. So that is something that I will keep in mind. But for the purposes of this run, I went ahead and I dropped Ultimate Penitence and put that into Twilight Equilibrium. I've been seeing other folks run Twilight Equilibrium. I ran Twilight Equilibrium last season and hated it. It just really felt like just another thing to like have to keep track of and have to like really be intentional about using. In order to get the most out of it, and it was just so annoying to me. So going into this season, I was kind of like, you know what? I don't have to play TE. I'm not going to play TE, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and give it another try. But maybe not necessarily be as stringent around alternating Shadow and Holy spells. I know that's not min-maxy at all, but just for my sanity, I don't know. That's just what I'm going to do for now. I also dropped a point out of Divine Aegis and put it into Blaze of Light. This is because I was looking at the Divine Aegis healing and it wasn't doing nothing, but I felt like if I put that point into increased smite and penance damage, that would be an overall boost, because again, going into this run, I was really focused on fixing my the number of torments that I was able to farm, and with that comes just a ton of smite spam. And so if I'm smiting more, which is what I've been saying for a long time that I need to do anyway, that's going to result in just overall more damage. So that's some of the thinking behind the changes there. Otherwise, nothing else changed on the disc side. On the priest side, I believe the only major difference between the last video and this one is I dropped points from Crystalline Reflection and put them into Improved Fade. And the reason why I did this is because, again, looking at sort of how much I was getting out of Crystalline Reflection, it really wasn't substantial enough for me to think that it was valuable. And my thinking was that if I had Fade on, I think this makes it a 20-second cooldown, and that gives me the 10% DR, it's kind of like, why wouldn't I do that, you know? Just for the personal, the extra, you know, personal defensive use. And I think in this dungeon I did push it quite a bit. I think it was up like over 20% of the time or something like that. So it definitely got a lot of mileage, which was great. In terms of gear, this is what we were looking at when I ran this. I don't think this changed since the last video. The only change might have been maybe a minor increase in I think I bumped up the eye level of an item, but I don't remember which. It might have been my shoulders, but that's besides the point. Stats pretty much exactly the same. 30% crit strike and haste, 26 mastery, 21 versatility, and a bit of leech and avoidance popped in. I'm sitting at around 481 eye level right now with 4 piece. In terms of the damage and healing spread, so overall, the damage on this one, I would say, was a significant improvement from previous runs that I've done of other keys. And you can see that going into this, with the intent of being more mindful about Mindbender, really paid off, with 26.5% of my overall damage being from Mindbender, which is quite improved from previous runs that I've done. You can also see the smite damage is closer to where it should be. I probably could have squeezed more casts of smite in there, but I think if we're comparing this to previous videos that I've uploaded, this is a significant improvement at 19.1% of my overall and 317 casts over the duration of the dungeon. So very happy with that. I think I really wasn't focusing too much on Holy Nova use. I feel like that's kind of like that's probably something that I could, squeeze out more damage from, but for the purpose of this run specifically, I was just really, really, really focused on getting Mindbender to be higher. In terms of healing, Atonement doing its job. You can see that because I was so focused on fixing my Mindbender, I wasn't as focused on Rapture. I think I only cast Rapture a few times in this dungeon. So yeah, normally my shield output would be closer to Radiance. One could argue that I cast Radiance too much, actually, looking at this. Yeah, 65 times, quite a bit overhealing. So, there's definitely some room for improvement there. I think part of where this could be coming from is I cast Radiance to just sort of keep the group atoned and then not have to think about it while I'm doing my Mindbender Mind Blast rotation situation. Who knows? But yeah, one other thing I'll talk about is life. So I've seen quite a few builds not take Power Word Life, and instead take the other node that just increases the healing of your healing spells, I guess, by 3%. My thinking with this is I would feel like I would be missing a major recovery button if I did not have life. Even though I cast this 9 times in the dungeon, those 9 times very well could have been life-saving times. Since you're only able to cast it, I believe if you're under 25%, yeah, 35%. So higher than I thought, but still, if your target is below 35% health, you can cast this on them, and it does some work. And it can crit for quite a bit as well. So my thinking behind this is in M+, you're either alive or you're dead, and if something is able to make it so that you don't die, why wouldn't you take that option? And especially in a pinch, I just feel like Power Word Life is really a great tool to have in the toolkit. So I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, overall, I think other thoughts on the dungeon. There are some spots where you can really see that I was tunneling, trying to DPS. I would say that this is not the gold star standard of what should be done in a run. I think that this is the start of me prioritizing damage and seeing what I would consider to be better healing throughput because of it. But there were definitely some places where, because I was being negligent of, swapping to ads or, being proactive about damage events, there were some things that were pretty messy. So yeah, again, this is not the gold star standard to reference when you're doing your runs, but yeah, this is just sort of another step in the timeline of my you know, progress with getting things down with Mindbender. So anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and clip on over to the key. Okie doke. So now that we have sorted ourselves out, we're gonna go into this key, of course, you know, with healing in mind. That's our job. But I have come into this key with a mission. I am going to have many more torments. I am going to up my damage. I'm on a mission here. So I throw out my Mindbender and I immediately get disoriented. I am in shambles. I am just so upset here, but it's okay. We will recover. So that was a little bit of a messy first pull, but going into this next Festerhide Grizzly, I'm setting myself up for another Mindbender Mind Blast window. So here we go. Mind Blast Death, Dark Reprimand. Smiting, smiting, smiting. Reprimand again. And it was dead before I could, you know, do the whole rest of it. But if it did stay up, I think I could have got 6 in. You'll notice there's a little number 3 now for 5 next to my icon that says that I don't have a Purge the Wicked on someone. That is a weak aura from Just Discipline. I'm actually not sure if I can link in my video descriptions yet, but I can drop that in the comments below at least. So this pack is a little bit scary because the Frenzied Nightclaws leave a gross grievous rip on people. So I just go ahead and throw a barrier down. That Nightmare Toxin also is pretty nasty, so just want to be a little more defensive on this pack just because I have wiped here a couple times, so want to avoid that. I'm never sure if we pull these two. I feel like sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So we pulled them and that's fine.
Empowered. Empowered.
Alright. Mindbender. Mind Blast. Death. Dark Reprimand. Smiting, smiting, smiting. Dark Reprimand. Smiting, smiting, death. And Dark Reprimand. So I think if I swapped to one of those other targets with the gray nameplate, I definitely could have fit in another death into that window. Would have got me to 7. But I at least hit the baseline of 6, which in previous videos there were many times where I did not. So I consider that a success.
Defilers, so it is you who have befouled these woods with a nightmare.
So usually what we have done is we kind of alternate who takes that the I guess grievous rip thing from the boss. But this time because I was so tunneled in on trying to like nail down my torments and really up my damage, I just wasn't thinking about it, and so our druid just was really eating it, and I would not recommend people doing that. It was not great. You can see there are a couple times where he's just kind of sitting at half or a little bit lower, which is not good. Means I'm not doing my job. Okay, so that was only a 4 torment window. I think I was starting to panic about the druid.
Empowered.
Your power burns. How have you twisted the scythe of a loom to obey your will?
Empowered.
Yeah, these abominations were kind of getting out of control too. I was not swapping to them at all. This was just a very, very messy play on my part because I was just so tunneled in.
Your blood reeks of corruption.
Yeah, I really should be swapping to the abominations. I am not. I don't think anyone really was. And you can see it really showed in the arena. There's like nowhere to stand. Oof. Yeah, this poor druid was just getting trucked. So yeah, I would strongly recommend like alternating who takes that, or making sure that whoever takes it has a defensive available, because that can definitely get really spicy really quick.
I just had the strangest nightmare.
A fluke. Savor it and pray you do not face me next.
They will be more than prepared. For your true power rests in the nightmare.
Silence, weakling. When you open your mouth again, it will be to cry for mercy.
Your soul belongs to me.
Use the potion.
Empowered.
Very good. And it's these types of instances where I find that it is tougher to be able to get that 6 torment minimum. I think because, for example, if you hit Mindbender and then immediately have to move and then cast Mind Blast, it's, I mean, it's just so much time wasted. Like, it's like almost, well, for me, I find it's almost impossible to be able to get a 6 torment in, so
Empowered.
that's tough. Yeah, see, like there, I cast Mindbender and then immediately had to move a little bit. Yeah. I think I maybe didn't need to move as much as I did, but I have been killed one too many times by these mushrooms, and so I was really just trying to play it safe here. Okay, 5 torment window. I think it could have been 6 if I snuck in the double death on the execute range target, but died before I could, and that is okay. Yeah, 5 again.
Your soul belongs to me. She will feast on your soul.
Oh, okay. Oh, very nice. 6 torment window. We love to see that between packs. I also play Mistweaver, and I definitely feel the lack of Poison Dispel in this dungeon. This season feels pretty nice for Mistweaver in my opinion, but I like Disc, so here we are.
Empowered.
I'm gonna turn off my bigwigs alarms for those because there's just nothing that I can do about these. Scream doesn't work. I think at some point I run up and try and scream again just in case like it, you know, changed for some reason. Yeah, no, nothing worked. But you know, the thought was there. Get the double death.
Empowered.
See if I smite enough to get another. Nah, so that was a 5 torment window. Yeah, those trumpets are really, really going, so I will shut that off in bigwigs.
My bar
5,
is
4,
worse.
3, 2, 1.
I will crush you to
Have a Dark Reprimand going into the Shattered Earth to top people back up. Gonna let the Druid do the roots.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5.
I snap you like a twig.
So I painsepped the Evoker.
5, 4, 3,
I'm
2.
I'm not sure if that
One.
was the play. I think it was fine there. Okay, that was a very late painsepp. That painsepp on the Druid was not the play.
5.
But like, I
4,
know that this fight, and especially
2,
that ability, is
1.
really, really, really tough for paladins in particular, Crushing Grip. And so if the paladin didn't have anything up, then that would have been a really good time for a
5,
painsepp.
4, 3,
Like, it looked a
2,
little spicy even
1.
there, and so I think,
1.
yeah, tossing out a painsepp on the first throw is definitely not the play. I think in subsequent throws, maybe, yeah, definitely saving it for the tank,
4, 3,
I think makes
2,
sense.
1.
Yeah, like that would be a really good opportunity for a painsepp for the tank. Could have shield up, but
5,
I don't know.
4, 3,
I get scared.
2, 1.
Empowered.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, I death before
2,
I mind blasted.
1.
I am not sure why I would do that. I also barriered because I was not looking at my timers, and I thought that the next thing was going to be a stomp.
A pity you have come this far
I
only
was
to die at the
incorrect.
hands
So
of
we do not have a
Xavius.
barrier
An empty threat.
for these next
You hold
explodey
no sway
packs,
over this realm, Nightmare
which I think is
Lord.
fine. I mean, they do some damage, but as long as you have a radiance, it's enough to top people, and it's not a big deal. That orb comes out so fast.
Empowered.
6 torment windows, so I am happy. And we have to kill these little guys. These blood bolts, I should have screamed at them. I do scream at them, okay. Yeah, they hurt. They hurt real bad. Yeah, we lost our, Ooh. Spicy. Yeah, I potted because I was just afraid for my life there. Haste, Death, Dark Reprimand, Star, lots of smites. Reprimand, Death, Death. Oh, no, okay, so that was 5, but so it goes.
Embrace your demise. She will feast on your soul.
Radiance to top things off. So we accidentally pulled we accidentally pulled the boss here. What happened was the druid's Fey Guardian fairy thing pulled the dragon, and apparently this is something that happens frequently. I was so caught off guard by this that I just yeah, my positioning was so messy on this one. I was getting all sorts of friends, and yeah, do not follow my positioning at all in this fight. This was
Empowered.
terrible on my part, but hey, we make do. My potion is ready. Let's see if I use it. This positioning is a little bit better.
5, 4,
Dark Reprimand to try and get people
2,
topped for this
1.
next thing, which is going to hurt, and it did. Okay, that's gonna be a... Oh, that was only a 4 torment window. Unfortunate. Just smiting, smiting, smiting. Again, I was not really prepared on my positioning for this one.
5, 4, 3.
I think I Rapture.
2,
Yeah, I go ahead and
1.
Rapture. I try and sort of run out of the group a little bit to... I don't know how the, like, excavation cave, whatever, earthquake move works exactly. I don't know if it goes out on, like, the furthest person or if it's just totally random. I'm not completely sure. But I try and
5,
stay spread a
4,
little bit as much as I
3,
can.
2.
Paints up
1.
myself and the druid just in case we both needed it. Okay, so that was a GCD wasted without casting Dark Reprimand, so this will probably only be a 5 torment window here. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So it's really,
1.
really tight. That was on me. This is gonna be a really tough downdraft since I'm so far away.
Empowered.
Yeah. I think I might shield myself to run. Yeah, there you go.
5, 4.
Okay, 7
3,
torment window and execute
2,
range.
1.
I do have Rapture up. I wonder if it might have made more sense to Rapture during that last downdraft. I was telling our shaman it was good to come through. There's not really a whole lot to say on these trash packs. Obviously CCing so that the Dread Infernos don't get out is ideal. I could have sent my Fear, but it looks like I didn't. That's room for improvement, is making sure that that is on cooldown in this hallway. My potion is still ready.
Empowered.
Ah, yes. That, I don't know if it's disease or magic. It's disease. That disease that goes on the tank, really important to dispel. I was letting it sit for a while, which was not good. I think it, like, leeches health back into the enemy or something like that. But it also just kind of, like, trucks the tank. So, like, there it goes out on the tank. It's taking a lot of damage.
Empowered.
I have both the curse and the fire, so I paints up myself. Our druid realizes that he has decurse, so he decurses me, which is awesome. That was a 5 torment window, which is not as awesome. And we are to Shade of Xavius.
You wish to die.
I'm drinking
So
on
be it.
pole, and then I get back up to dispel real quick because that our shaman is a little low eye level, and so I wanted to make sure that he didn't just, you know, get killed from that dot. I think I melded the curse. I melded something. It's on cooldown. I did not meld Growing Paranoia, but I melded the other one, which is pretty big value. That means I don't have to, you know, hang out with someone. Alright. Oh, 6 torment window. Very good. We love that. I'm just doing Mindbender to use the torments to get back up there. Yeah, I need to put a countdown on Apocalypse. Or I think that's what it's called. But the really big explosion, I was not prepared for that at all. That was really bad. I had Rapture and Barrier and I didn't use either because I wasn't expecting it at all, so that is a big area of improvement that I will change for next time. Really, really important to anticipate damage events. That was a 6 torment window. We love to see it.
You will waste away slowly, painfully.
It looks like my Purge the Wicked reminder has been saying that there is no Purge the Wicked for like quite a while. So that's not great. That's another big area for improvement. Okay, but I just cast it, so that's good
You deserve
there.
nothing less.
And that's the key.
Defeat
And lo and behold, look at that beautiful 58.6k DPS overall. That is significantly better than what it has been in the past by like 14k overall, which is just absolutely wild. So this, compared to previous videos, is such a huge improvement in torments. We're at 26.3% Mindbender of my overall damage. Smite is so much higher as well, sitting at 19.1%. It's a good time overall. I was looking here at my Twilight Equilibrium, I guess, like the, I don't know, Uptime is a weird word for it, but like, you know, how much time I was in my shadow versus light. I think ultimately that's not something that I'm necessarily going to try and min-max just because it's like passive DPS increase by just like, you know, alternating spells, right? So anyway, yeah, that's the key. In my excitement, I didn't even look at the healing spread, which is really funny, although there isn't really much to say there except I probably had much less. No, I did have much less shield output. But yeah, all in all, that was the 20 Darkheart Thicket. And I think, yeah, making that minor adjustment in the sequence in which I cast Death and Dark Reprimand made a huge, huge, huge difference. And just really, really making sure that I am emphasizing Smite to farm down that cooldown of Penance / Dark Reprimand. That is just the biggest priority. So again, even this key wasn't totally perfect, but I don't think anything is going to be totally perfect, especially when you're needing to, you know, react to unanticipated damage events in trash, for example, or, you know, you're working on trash and then it dies and then you can't get all your torments in, that kind of a thing. Sometimes things just happen that you can't necessarily totally control for, and, you know, that's okay. Again, like I say, a big part of M+ is just making the best of what you got. So, yep, that's it for the key, and yeah, see you next time.